Got an interesting new study today, or yesterday I should say, WHO study. This one is extraordinary. It is a study of 65,000 actual coronavirus cases in China. So in other words, an extraordinarily in-depth, extensive study. And there's a lot in it, but the thing I want to say, which was very important for us to see and confirmed exactly what Dr. Barbeau has been saying, Dr. Katz has been saying, is that based on the latest evidence, this is not an airborne disease. This is a direct transmission by fluids kind of disease, not a disease that hangs in the air. So this is the latest as of yesterday. Again, we'll constantly update you as we get new information. There were the rumors yesterday that I can't say I'm ever shocked by anything, but I was troubled by them. The rumors of Manhattan being quarantined and everything being shut down that bore no semblance to reality. But I have to tell you how many people I've known a long time were all bombarding me with emails and texts asking me if it was true. And people I would have thought would immediately not assume it's true. And people obviously did not take the opportunity to go and look at the many information sources we have. I want to really reiterate to people, we have got to be sober and clear-headed in this crisis. It's not going away. It's going to be here a long time. Anytime you're not sure of something you hear, and I ask this, of course, of our colleagues in the media as well, they can obviously get to all of our colleagues for quick confirmations. But for everyday New Yorkers, you can go to nyc.gov/coronavirus. You can call 311. You can get our regular updates by text. Again, text COVID, C-O-V-I-D, to 692-692. I understand the anxieties right now. I also understand that many parents want us to keep school open, depend on it, need it, don't have an option. And there's a lot of different statements out there, and I'm sure you'll ask me about some of them. I urge you to take a look at this one from 1199 SEIU, literally the single largest labor union in New York City, talking about their workers, the people we depend on for our healthcare system, and why they need our school system to be up and running from the perspective of the real world, which we'll talk about. My strong belief that if the schools weren't open, that children would end up going all over their buildings, their communities, looking for something to do, that you would not see a pristine quarantine situation. You'd see the real lives of kids play out. And that comes with some real challenges of its own. There is an illusion out there that you can shut down schools temporarily in the midst of a growing crisis. I think the sober, honest reality is if you shut down, you have to be ready for the possibility that that's it for the school year. That might be it for the calendar year. So I'm being real about the fact that I think it is a very high bar to shut down. But of course, if conditions change and information changes, our internal deliberations change, I reserve that right at any moment to go in a different direction if that's what I think is in the best interest of the city. I ask people, what do you think would happen if you let a bunch of New York City school kids out for not a day, not a week, but 3 months? What's going to happen? And everyone says they're all going to go outside and find their friends or go around their building or whatever. You think they're going to stay in isolation in their apartment? It's just not real. So you're going to have a recreation of social networks. And if you're worried about community spread, there'll be plenty of opportunity right there. What are people who are not working going to do? Do you think they're going to stay in their apartment in isolation for a week? Sure. For a month? For 3 months? For 6 months? No. A number of kids didn't come to school today, and that's a concern. But I also want to be very clear, we'll get you the exact number, but well over 600,000 kids did come to school. And again, that's a huge number of young people and their families who are depending on us. Now for New York City, 154 confirmed positive cases of coronavirus. That is 59 since we gathered last for the press conference yesterday. So 154 cases. 35 cases in Manhattan, 24 cases in Brooklyn, 26 cases in Queens, 13 cases in the Bronx, and 5 cases in Staten Island. We have 29 people in mandatory quarantine. Believe that's the same as yesterday. In voluntary isolation, we have 1,747 people. This disease is transmitted by droplets, by fluid, if you will, liquid, from one person, has to get directly into another person, not airborne. And that suggests very clearly that there's more than one kind of mask that can be helpful here. The N95 masks are particularly valued, but they are not the only ones that prevent transmission. We will treat the surgical mask as an acceptable replacement for the N95s. And now, some actual good news in this world. In stock right now, 16 million surgical masks in the New York City supply. The cities already had said over the last few days we would suspend all evictions in NYCHA and in any of the affordable housing we control. We got good news just a short while ago that the court system, the state court system, has confirmed that they will suspend eviction actions through the courts. And then even more recently, we got news from REBNY, from the Real Estate Board of New York, that their member organizations, companies, will suspend evictions for the next 3 months.